The BumbleKast is for entertainment purposes only. The host's comments and opinions, and those of their guests, are wholly their own and do not represent that of any other entity. Content is provided as is, with no guarantees of accuracy or timeliness. Unauthorized redistribution or editing of the BumbleKast in whole or in part is strictly prohibited.
Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hi. Oh, it's New Year's Eve. It's 2024, the end of 2024. And, this should be an interesting one, Ian. We have a lot of questions.
Yep, cleaning out house before we move on to a new year with new guidelines for ourselves. Going to be fresh and clean coming into 2025. But we got to get through all these questions that come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members first and foremost.
Yes, indeed. Let's go ahead and close out this chapter of the BumbleKast so we can start a new adventure next year. Starting off with this one from Andrew D. I'm assuming timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly is the answer here, but perhaps you can explain this at least a little bit. Mephiles' existence in Shadow Generations had me thinking about how he seemed to know that he no longer existed, since he states that he wants to exist. Without the Time Eater shenanigans, does the erased Mephiles consciously exist in a state of erasure? Or was he simply brought back and, due to his own time powers, was able to recognize that he was once erased from existence?
I don't know. I'm falling back on timey-wimey, bibbly-bobbly.
That's the easiest way. I mean, might as well. All right, and Tails has a question. In a scenario where Cosmo lived, do Tails and Cosmo live happily ever after? Does Cosmo fill the workshop with endless flowers? Does Tails ever teach Cosmo how to fly the tornado? If you can share any wholesome post-Season 3 Tailsmo stuff you can conjure up for the answer to my final Sonic question on the BumbleKast, I'd be extremely grateful. Thanks.
This is purely in the realm of fanfic, so whatever you want, go for it. You know, everything you just mentioned. If that's what you want, sure. That can be your headcanon, and I am not going to contradict it. Revel in it.
Yes. And we got one from Aura. The end of Sonic X Shadow Generations seemed like a perfect opportunity for Shadow to let loose in a way he hasn't been able to for a long time. Namely, dropping the limiter rings and hitting Doom with everything he's got. However, even during the excellent final battle, he still doesn't remove the limiters. If an occasion like the Year of Shadow wasn't enough, when should we expect the return of the Chaos Blast, if at all?
We actually touch on that. Make sure to talk to Professor Gerald. I believe it's when everything is all gloomy-doomy in the overworld. He actually brings up the limiter rings.
Gloomy-doomy. Ava Arctic, you see where the question? Any update on Lost Hedgehog Tales in 2025? I know there's likely some legal tape keeping it back, so is there any estimation on how much longer? Would your standing with Sega affect being able to release it when the time is right? We must know what happened to The Hero by Valve. Also, when Sally and Nicole had their wedding. These are the facts we must know, Ian.
I am not remotely trying to predict 2025. I dread that year. To be perfectly honest, I'm going to take it day by day. The concerns I have with Lost Hedgehog Tales remain unchanged as far as I'm aware, and we'll just have to roll with it.
Yep, but they are still on the table, right? It still will happen at least someday, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
And, you know, if it becomes clear that the only way I'm doing it is guns blazing, final flare of glory, all right, fine.
Yep.
I'll burn the bridges on my way down. But that we're not there yet.
Yep.
This is Ian still, you know, thinking that there is going to be a tomorrow. So we're going to wait for that.
Alrighty. Question from Axis. Good news, everyone. Omega and Bender Bending Rodriguez from Futurama have become best friends. How do they influence each other, and what do they do during a bot's night out? If possible, try to imitate Professor Farnsworth's voice when saying, "Good news, everyone!" Thanks. I'm pretty sure I wasn't supposed to read that part, but I did, so...
Good news, everyone!
You do it better than I do, that's for sure.
It's the only Farnsworth line I can do remotely close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see Omega and Bender getting along personally, which is worrisome. I don't know how Omega could get drunk, but Bender would find a way, and then they'd just start destroying stuff.
Does Bender get drunk from beer, or does he just
frequently?
Okay, I thought he just used it was just his fuel. I didn't.
No. He gets sloshed.
I forgot. Okay, well then, he gets drunk from not drinking beer. And interesting.
Bender would convince Omega to break things that aren't Eggman robots, which is extremely worrisome because then there's really no holding him back until I guess evil robot Santa flies in, and then it's just he's going to team up with Omega, which makes it worse.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay, Bender gets drunk by being sober. He drinks beer to be normal. It's backwards for him.
I could have sworn I saw him. Okay,
no, it's been a while. No, it's the other way around. It's weird. I know it's backwards for him. Oh well. I still think they would go on great adventures together, and everyone would be running, screaming on fire. Balefire Bombshell has a question. Omega's discovered the world of vanity voice processors. After browsing through a catalog with the rest of Team Dark, he has settled on 4 possibilities: the Dalek Emperor, Robco Industries Sentrybot, HK-47, or Cephalon Cimaris. Which does he ultimately choose, and what would Rouge and Shadow's opinions be on his short list of options?
I'm biased. I'm going to say HK-47.
Yeah.
And he even has a little bit of a nod to that in Sonic Chronicles, even though that's not canon. So
that would kind of make sense.
Pure bias, HK-47. And it don't matter what Rouge and Shadow think, because it's HK-47.
Exactly.
I demand that they appreciate it, that they love it.
Yes.
Meatbags.
As they should. Question from Benji. If Sonic is so fast, how has he not seen everything on Earth yet? Realistically, he should have already discovered the Starfall Islands before Sonic Adventure 1. This is assuming the planet is as big as ours and not Minecraft size.
We have countless people who have explored the world and continue to explore our world to this day, with all manner of modern conveyances and technology, and we are still discovering regions and wonders to this day. It don't matter how fast he is. That's one little blue hedgehog. There's a lot of planet. It may feel like a small world, but it's much bigger and richer than you can imagine.
It could be that he goes so fast he misses stuff.
Also that.
Or it's because he can't swim, so he's landlocked. The only way he ever gets anywhere is when he stows away on a plane or anything like that. All right, bring back the Freedom Fighters is here with the question. How would Shard handle being given full command of the Metal Sonic Troopers? Would he give them copies of his personality? If so, how does Nicole handle all the many new suitors?
Well, I don't know how they'd all fit in a room together because those big starfish head spines are going to take up a lot of real estate.
A lot of egos there. Sure, Shard's a cool, nice guy, but, he's got a bit of an ego. He is a Sonic.
I don't know if he would copy his personal programming, though. I think there's a degree of autonomy there that if he just did Control-C, Control-V himself, then what does that make him?
Yeah.
That inherently removes his individuality, and he's spent a fair amount of time and energy building that. I don't think he would do that. Given command of the Metal Sonic Troopers, I think he would... I don't know what he would do with them, to be perfectly honest, because they're battle bots. He wouldn't want to deny them their function, but I don't think he would want to use them as tools, because that's what Eggman would do, and he doesn't really follow that line of logic these days. So I don't know what he would do.
Interesting thought. Maybe leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Bubbly Bumblebee has a question. I was reading your run of Archie Sonic and noticed a pattern in the arcs. Scourge and Fiona invert their recent story beats. Mogul gets a win. The politics of this setting see a major shift away from succession drama. Knuckles gains the divine power he lacked in Return to Angel Island. All inversions of events and themes in previous stories in roughly reverse order. Was this a conscious decision, or is this just my fixation for narrative structure making me see things?
At first blush, I am inclined to say you're reading too much into it, but it's been so long. you may have picked up on a pattern that I wasn't even aware of. I'm not sure what you mean by Knuckles getting divine power back, unless you're talking about the inner Knuckles stuff. And I think that's a bit of a reach. And a lot of that stuff that you mentioned was not so much an inversion as just taking elements that have been stagnant or repetitive and doing something new with them, just going a different direction. So, but I can't really discount that because I do like my duality and my parallels, narratively speaking. So maybe you're onto something. I don't know.
It's been a while, so who knows?
I don't think it was a conscious decision on my part. Think being the operative word.
Ah, well. Why start now? I mean, I haven't. KB has a question. Shadow Generations movie DLC spoilers. As Shadow is speeding through the Tokyo stage, he mentions how the city is like how Maria described the Earth. Did Shadow temporarily gain some of his movie counterparts' memories? If not, then why was Shadow acting like he has never been on Earth before?
That whole sequence in terms of canonicity is strange and mysterious.
Strange, isn't it? Chaos Sonic 1 has a question. Will we ever know the canon path to Shadow the Hedgehog game, since the only known canon path is a last story?
I think that's the point. There isn't a canon path.
Yeah.
You decide what path he takes in your own personal story, and then here's the actual canon ending so that it can fit in with the rest of the series.
Yes.
If there is an intended path, I don't know what it is.
All roads lead to Radical Highway. Here's one from Classic Sonic. In both the recent Twitter takeover and Shadow Generations, it was implied Shadow likes Classic Sonic more than Modern due to his silence. My question is, how would a day between Classic Sonic and Shadow go?
Quietly.
Just the way Shadow likes it. Or maybe Classic Sonic only talks when the cameras are off. Can't get that guy to shut the heck up. As soon as the cameras come on, though, mute. Yeah. Comic the Hedgehog has a question. How would Maria get along with Boom Shadow? Could she fix him?
Maybe. We don't really know a lot about Boom Shadow. What makes him tick? Why he's such a surly individual? It would be very easy to say, yes, Maria is full of nothing but goodness and light and convert everyone into just wholesome people.
But this is the Boom universe. Nobody is like that.
He goes to the Boom universe and decides, no, you know what? She can't fix any of this.
Nope.
She's going home now.
Nope.
Or maybe Boom Eggman finally tempts her with the evil ham. If you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah, it would be kind of weird, though. She gets turned into a surfboard whenever she goes to that universe. Here's one from Crispy Midget 69. Sonic Adventure 2 What If Time. One thing I noticed when playing SA2 and Shadow Generations is that Eggman and Sonic are somewhat opposites of Maria and Shadow. My question is, how would life on the Ark be if young Ivo was in the Ark with Maria and Gerald made Sonic Ivo's ultimate life form buddy along with Shadow?
I don't know, maybe play to the opposites still. Like have little Ivo still be kind of a self-absorbed jerk. Have Sonic be upbeat and adventurous still, and there you have some inherent conflict between the four characters.
That's a lot of conflict.
That's before Gun gets up there. Ba-da-bum-bum.
Yep. All right. Damnable's BP has a question. Bowser manages to defeat Blaze thanks to superior strength and fire resistance. He promises... I
don't know about that. Keep going.
He promises to spare her people if she marries him, and she reluctantly agrees. Which of Blaze's friends comes to save her, and who comes excited for a wedding?
Oh, they all show up, and they're all excited, because this isn't a wedding. This is an ambush.
They know what's up.
I mean, Bowser's rather impressed that they all showed up. The guest list is full. My goodness, they're so supportive of this. They all seem a little on edge.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Princess Blaze, do you take this monster to be your lawfully wedded monarch? I do not. Attack. You don't attack. What is it? Oh, God!
Got him. Everyone here is so much more supportive than over in the Mushroom Kingdom.
I imagine Sonic and Mario off to the side. You're really gonna go? Yeah. Oh, we're all gonna go over. Oh, you have a fun.
All right, here's one from Dog. What's up, Dog? I was wondering whether you see anyone in the Sonic cast, both games and comics, as neurodivergent. I had Silver as being autistic in mind, but any other characters you wish to speak on would also be welcome.
I'm honestly not well enough versed in neurodivergent behavior or mannerisms to really say in anything that wouldn't just be a gross stereotype. So I don't think I'll weigh in on that topic.
Yeah, we'll leave you guys to decide that one for yourselves.
I mean, if it works for you, if identifying with a character kind of helps you cope with what you've got, then more power to you.
All right, Dawson the Dachshund has a question. Tangles finally convinced you to let her go on a date with Whisper. However, your one request is that they go out with a chaperone. It's Kyle. Do you trust him to keep them safe? And can they find romance in the back of his car?
I don't know, man. It's your car.
Well, I'll go park it somewhere and leave him alone for a while. It's fine.
Yeah. Why do they have to be chaperoned? The two of them can beat up anybody.
I don't know. I have no idea. Why am I the chaperone?
And somebody sneaks up on this abandoned car. Give me your wallet. They're in trouble. I mean, doesn't matter who gets to them first. The mugger's in trouble. So, no, they're fine.
I guess. I feel like I would be very responsible. Yeah, I would be, yeah. I mean, they probably would need to chaperone me more than I chaperone them. All right, and here's one from DDR Master M.
Here's another crossed over special. Spamton in Sonic Boom. Can this colorful bunch of characters, familiar yet different friends, enemies, and the additional badger, keep this under control?
Well, Ian,
I feel like it would be very fun and random until about the third act, and then it gets worrisome.
Well, I mean, it's Spamton.
Yeah, like, it's not funny anymore. It's not even like, this is kind of creepy. It's like, no, I'm honestly disturbed. Are we allowing children to watch this? What's going on?
Well, it's Spamton.
And then they have a special credit roll at the end where it looks like the normal credits, but as it continues, you just realizes that it's slowly zooming out to show that it's all within Spamton's mouth, between his teeth. Until finally the credits finish and he just snaps his teeth and goes, satisfying.
Oh, boy. And that's how Boom ends.
Not with a bang, but a whimper.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I guess it would all... Does it start because Eggman is messing around with some kind of computer tech or because Tails is messing around with some computer tech?
Yes.
Tails is messing around with some computer tech, steps away from his computer, and Knuckles is the one who presses the button.
Oh, Knuckles. Oh, Knuckles.
Huh. Says here Tails has some spam. I didn't know you could get that through the computer. I love spam. I want some. Boop. Congratulations, you're our 100th victim.
Oh, Knuckles, no. Oh, no. Poor Knuckles. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. All right, Digimon 11 has a question. So something me and Kyle agreed on is that Champions is probably your best arc. What I want to know is, will you ever write a tournament arc in any future works, preferably in one of your original works?
Maybe. The thing with tournament arcs is they take a while.
Yeah, a little bit.
And with Drogon specifically, there is so much story I want to tell that, and it's already a massive project with me thinking about, okay, I should just focus on these elements. Oh God, it's still this big. I don't think there's room for a tournament arc there, but the beauty of Drogon as a concept is there can be other stories. There can be other characters. There can be other narratives. There could be just a straight up pure tournament arc Drogon based thing, which I would be 100% on board with. So that's a definite maybe. Claus McGee, I didn't have anything in the cards with that. And that one's because it's supposed to be a little shorter in scope. Right, Flynn, right.
Uh-huh.
And it really comes down to the art team, because if you're going to do a tournament arc, you need to have someone who can capture both the energy of the fighting, that is what draws you to the tournament arc, and carry you along in the moments in between. Because it can't just be fighto the entire time. That's what we think of in the tournament arc, but there needs to be more to it. There needs to be something that moves the characters and the narrative along, and it's within the context of whatever the tournament is.
Right.
So you need someone who can do both, who can carry the low energy moments as much as sell the high energy moments.
Yeah. And I think that's part of what made Champion so good, too. The art really elevated that. All right, question from Double L. One of my favorite lines in Sonic Boom was, quote, "Normally I'm a pacifist, but today I'm passing fists." How would you incorporate Og the Frogletite into mainline?
I wouldn't. And this is coming from the guy who actually wrote Og.
Yeah, I was going to say, this was yours.
Og was fine, but is it really a pressing desire to see Og?
Well, from
Am
Double
I missing
L.
out on the Og fandom? Hmm?
From Double L.
Well, I guess. And I mean, he wasn't part of the season 2 promotional material. Why Og?
I don't know. Why not?
I mean, he could be like a one-off. I mean, he was fairly reclusive, pacifistic. He's off doing his own thing in his own little corner of the world. Some adventure revolves around us meeting and having a little thing with him, and then he goes back to doing his own thing, and that's fine.
Yeah.
We don't need to ogle him too long.
But all right, question from Dove. Does Vanilla swear when Cream isn't around? Actually, what does Vanilla do when Cream is off saving the world? When she has a day all to herself, what does the best and only Mom get up to?
We don't know for sure, I would imagine that she's just a proper lady of refinement. Either taking care of the household or, reading, listening to the Victrola, tending to the garden, looking after Chow, maybe, visiting the neighbors.
I thought we
living pleasantly and wholesomely.
I thought we established she was a helldiver.
Well, no, that's a joke from the old stream. That's days old, Kyle. It's no longer shelf fresh.
It's not a joke, Ian.
If anything, the BumbleKast is on the cutting edge of humor.
It's not a joke. It's not a joke to me. Dang it! I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out with this. You can't stop me. You can't stop me. Or maybe she just has a wholesome day with Vector. Wholesome.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Wholesome.
Go to the movies or something.
And we got a question from Dr. Leonard Church. Mr. Flynn, your mission is to recast Red vs. Blue with Sonic characters. No restrictions on continuity except Sonic is Caboose and Knuckles is Sarge. Thank you for your time. From the director of Project Freelancer.
Knuckles is Sarge? Okay. I'll follow you there. Sonic is Caboose?
Sonic is Caboose is a little awkward.
If anything, I almost see Sonic as Church, because if somebody didn't have the biting, sarcastic comeback.
Yes. Sonic is more Church than Caboose.
Yeah. Who would be Caboose? Big?
Big? Yeah, I guess Big, maybe?
The adorably aloof one?
Yeah.
Also, how terrifying would it be when he finally turns to the camera at the end of this season and goes, "I told you, my name is O'Malley."
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Or if we're really going to get into the meta, my Caboose voice is basically the Silver voice, so...
Yeah, that's true.
Who would be Tucker? Vector?
I guess.
Bow chicka wow wow.
Damn it. Oh, who's Tex?
Torn between Rouge and Amy. No, sorry, Rouge and Blaze.
Blaze? Yeah, maybe Blaze. Or Sally. But maybe a Blaze is probably more like that.
Who would be Simmons? Who's a suck-up?
Tails?
I mean...
Starline?
Yeah, all right. Okay.
Starline, yeah. Okay.
I mean, Sarge gets a little more mad scienty as he goes along, but hey, there's no perfect one-to-one in this. We're just being goofs.
No.
And who would be Griff? Who is the bitter laziest one? Nobody's really lazy in Sonic.
Well, I mean, Orbot and Cubot are pretty lazy.
Yeah. Cubot's not really that
Especially
bitter,
Orbot.
though.
Especially Orbot.
I don't know. Maybe Lanlin when she just gives up. She tried writing this ship and it ain't working.
She's just
done. Here to clock in.
She's just done. She's given up. Rough and Tumble, Zamom, any one of those probably, I guess.
No, we need to give Starline to Donut.
Oh.
Specifically when he gets infected with the O'Malley virus.
But also,
because who else would be that Machiavellian evil?
It's true. It's true. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Hey, Sonic, ship a thingy. I like it. It's got a ring to
it. Oh man. I should go back to Red versus Blue. Funny as heck. It got a little weird. It got real weird, actually. Oh well. And here's a question before we take a break. It's from Deshaney. Forget about answering my questions on Sonic lore, Ian. What are some burning questions you yourself wonder about the Sonic series? Maybe about a character or story elements you've always wondered about and would love to see answered or elaborated on in the future, or even get to write yourself.
Thank you for the open invitation, but I'm in a unique position where I can actually ask these questions. And when the opportunity arises, even potentially pitch an idea of addressing them in some form of media, be it Tails Tube or something else. So it's probably better that I don't actually spitball on this one, because we might find out one day.
Well, I would like to know more about Blaze and Blaze's world. What's going on there? That would be nice. I wouldn't mind any more we can learn about Lost Hex and the Zeti, just in general.
Really?
I mean, why not? They're there.
Yeah.
You might as well use them. Jeez. There's all sorts of things littered all over the ground that's been used once and then just discarded. Like, come on. You might as well use them. Let's see. Jeez, there's a lot. There's just a lot of things that we just don't know about. Like, why is Vanilla the only mother? Where's everyone else's parents? Like, yeah, I don't know. There's so much. I'll leave that to the folks who want to ask down in the comments below. Talk about what they would like to see as we take a quick break and come back with more on the BumbleKast. We're back with a question from Exidel. With the year of Shadow coming to an end, who do you think would deserve their own dedicated year? And more interestingly, who do you think could carry their own year the way Shadow did?
Who deserves it?
Luigi, obviously.
Ask any Sonic fan who their favorite character is and who do you think deserves it. And you will get an answer for every single character in the Sonic Pantheon, I guarantee you.
Yes.
There will be people who just as fervently argue for the Year of Cream as they would the Year of Mighty. I am not going to name any particular one because it will make everyone else mad. I know this.
Yes.
Who could carry it? This is also a topic that I'm sure will tick people off. But Shadow, I think himself is a uniquely strong character that could carry that Year of Shadow. I think of anybody in the extended cast, he was the easiest to go with. And I say this as a lifelong Knuckles stan, okay?
Uh-huh.
I think it would be possible for others, but it would take a lot more work and a lot more promoting of that character. Not within the Sonic fandom. We know who these guys are. We would champion each and every one of them. But outside of our sphere, beyond us, folks don't know Sonic as well as we do. You see jokes about people talking about, oh, there's Red Sonic and there's Black Sonic and there's Orange Sonic. We laugh because how obviously wrong that is, but that's the truth for most of the world.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Unfortunately.
When Blaze is an obscure character, you gotta adjust how you view things. She's not obscure to us. She's awesome. You know this.
Yeah.
I wave the Blaze banner proudly and high. But they're not just marketing to the Sonic fans. They're marketing to everybody. So that would have to be taken into account. I'm sure it's doable, but it would take a little more effort than just Shadow.
Besides, we know what the real answer is, Ian. It's big for both.
Well, I mean, he's the answer to everything.
As he should be, dang it.
To life, love, and the universe. Come on.
Yes, it's true. Here's a question from Fezar234. Let's say some of Sonic's allies and rivals, namely Team Dark, Lanolin, Whisper, Espio, Surge, and Kit, are sick of how he always handles Eggman and decides to destroy him themselves, while Sonic and the others are forced to protect him. How does the conflict play out?
I am certain we have covered scenario of extended cast is diametrically opposed to Sonic morally and tried to take out Eggman. I know we've done this.
Multiple times.
So let's not retread old ground. We have the BumbleKast archive over at BumbleKast.com. Go through the years and years and hours of material. I am certain we've covered, if not these specific characters, then the general premise.
Yes. Question from Ferns and Scribs. How would Espio comfort Tangle if she was sad, and how would she respond, assuming they are close?
Hard to say. They haven't really interacted a whole lot. And we haven't really seen Espio in that emotional support position too much. So I imagine he's more of the quiet, be there if you need him type. I don't see Espio as a cuddler. I don't see him as someone dropping comforting words of wisdom unbidden. But he's there. And he'll just stay there until you need him. Because he doesn't really know what to do. And that's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
And I think Tangle would appreciate that.
All right, 4 Sonic fan has a question. It's a farewell to Scourge, Fiona, and the gang, so I give them a farewell cake. How will Scourge and Fiona react, and what will their final words be to their fans?
Scourge is like, what the heck are you talking about? And Fiona's like, well, at least we got cake.
Let them eat cake. Wait, hold on. Glavim has a question. I know the Zeti were based on Oni during the development of Sonic Lost World, but their species was changed because of Sega of America. So my question is, would you say they are still Oni/demons, or would you say they are now their own unique species special to the Sonic universe?
First, I would question your source, because I haven't heard anything like that.
Uh-oh.
And 2, they're Zeti.
Zeti spaghetti. Also, the Zeti being based on Oni is kind of like an established thing. Ian, did you... I thought it was an Azuka interview. But
was it?
Yeah.
Well, I know that I know Oni is mentioned in the Japanese title, but any details of that it was Sega of America that made the decision to change it or something. I don't know.
Okay. Happy Times is here with a question. In one of the trailers for Sonic Movie 3, we see a shot of Shadow and Maria sitting together at night on a field of flowers, similar to the shots seen in Dark Beginnings Episode 3. Was this shared imagery synergy between the two projects, or just coincidental?
I don't know. I didn't have a hand in the movie, so if that's where they took inspiration from, that's neat. If it's a coincidence, that's also neat. But I don't know.
All right, Hearts13 is here with a question. From what I've seen from Gerald's journal, the bio-lizard seems to have been a pre-existing salamander, which is an amphibian, not a reptile, so inaccurate name there, that was modified using genetics, cybernetics, and chaos mysticism. My question is, was Shadow grown from the ground up with Hedgehog Mobian and Black Arms DNA, or was he a pre-existing hedgehog that was modified with alien DNA and chaos technology?
Number 1, bioamphibian doesn't sound nearly as cool as biolizard.
Yeah, nor does Biomander.
No. Like, let's give Gerald the benefit of the doubt. He knew how to market his horrible mutant monstrosity that would never see the light of day.
Well, I mean, he is a Robotnik. He knows. He knows some things.
As for the actual meat of your question, we don't know. It has not been established.
Hero Squad has a question. Sonic Boom time! This time it's Plants vs. Zombies. How does it go and occur? Where do the zombies come from? And is Dave the intern crazy? Bonus points if we get to hear Dave doing the weird gibberish noises.
See, I never played Plants vs. Zombies, so I don't really know the premise outside of there are plants fighting zombies.
That's pretty much it.
No.
The plants
Where
are...
do the zombies come from? Why are the plants fighting?
From the right side of the screen.
Ah, yes. Tale as old as time.
Yes. I am familiar with Plants vs. Zombies a little bit. I played a little bit of the first one, at least, the original. So there's not much there. I don't remember much in the way of, like, a story. There's really not much to it. It's like, yeah, it's just zombies come in and the plants, you use the plants to protect your house, which is on the left side of the screen, and the zombies come in from the right side of the screen.
I didn't know if there was like a tie-in comic or like a web series that painted a bit of narrative onto it.
The zombies, the basic gist of it is the zombies send a letter to you that says, "Hello, we are about to launch an all-out attack on your house. Sincerely, the zombies." And then
that's polite of them.
And then you use the plants to save your house.
Good to know that the undead follow the Geneva Convention.
Thank you. Yes, it's very straightforward. Apparently there is a comic, so interesting.
I think what Hero Squad really wants, though, more than anything, is to hear some kind of gibberish zombie noises coming out of Dave the intern.
Yeah.
Which I imagine would be something like...
Okay, yeah, not too far off. There you go. All right. Here's a question from Horseweave. So in a previous BumbleKast, Ian was spitballing some ideas on the concept of Phazon Surge. So I'm just going to run a little bit with that scenario for a versus fight. Phazon Surge versus Whisper with Majora's Mask. Round 2. Ready. Fight.
Good Lord.
That would be Fierce Deity Whisper, right?
No, because that's the Fierce Deity Mask.
Fierce Deity is different, that's right. Majora's Mask, okay, yeah. Okay.
That's what Skull Kid was wearing.
Yeah, okay.
And Skull Kid didn't want to be alone, and the mask kind of played into that and empowered all of his pranks and deviltry upon the people who wouldn't play with him. Whisper's putting this puppy on to stop a bad person with bad powers. So it's going to empower her, but in all the wrong ways.
Oh, boy.
That Wispon is going to be shooting stuff that is not wisps, and I don't think we wanted to find that.
Oh, no.
But it's going to look cool.
Well, yeah, it's going to look sick as heck.
And Phazon Surge is going to be just zipping and zapping all over the place, looking equally cool.
Oh, man.
Can we get the Dark Beginnings team to just, like, do this for funsies? Like, we don't even need a story. Just here's the prompt. Go straight to boards.
We could just get Adam Bryce Thomas to just draw it. That'd be good enough.
Adam, there's no script. There's just a prompt. Here's like unlimited budget. Put as many pages into it as you want.
Pretty much. Whisper drops the moon onto the planet. Oh boy. See, and I was thinking, like, Whisper wants the exact opposite of what Skull Kid wants. She just wants to be left alone. Go away. But no, I like your idea better. This is why you're the writer. I'm just the guy who reads the questions. All right, Jara has a question. When it comes to Sonic Boom characters, everyone talks about Styx and Dave as characters they want to see in the mainline stuff for obvious reasons. But what's your opinion on Percy the Bandicoot? Would she be worthwhile to see in the mainline stuff, or does she overlap too much with other characters' gimmicks? How do you imagine her bouncing off some of the other characters?
I honestly can't remember what Percy's gimmick was.
She was relevant in like one episode and appeared multiple times in other ones, but didn't really do anything. And she also had an identical twin sister who also didn't do anything.
I thought she had two sisters.
Does she have two sisters? I don't remember.
I also think in the first game, I think she built the hovercraft boat shooty thing.
She was in the first game. She was a mechanic who made turrets and stuff.
Okay, so
she's supposed to be a bandicoot, so people are surprised by that.
Yeah, sure. That's definitely a bandicoot design. I wouldn't be opposed, but she needs a lot of work to bring something new to the table. And at that point, why not just make a new character?
Yeah. I mean, we've already got Styx. Let's get Styx first before we try anybody else. All right, Joestar SSB is here with a question. Not so much a question, just something fun I wanted to share. In issue 25, page 13 of IDW Sonic, Cream stops Whisper from stealthily sniping Eggman from afar. The line reads, "Please don't, Miss Whisper," as in, "Don't do this, Whisper." However, I, for whatever reason, originally misread that line as, "Please don't miss, Whisper," as in, "Only one shot, better make it count, Whisper." I snapped the book shut and couldn't stop laughing for like 30 minutes until I realized, no, that did not happen. So, question then, thoughts?
That's a very funny misread.
Don't miss. I kind of prefer that reading of it, honestly. Don't miss. Don't miss, Whisper. Don't miss. Never miss. Levi C. has a question. Now that the Knuckles special is out and we've returned to the North Star Islands, can you explain if or how the Emerald powers are related to Chaos Control?
They are not. And that's all I can really say about it.
All right. Question from Lord Head Cheese. With everyone obviously asking about the story and lore of Shadow Generations, I'm curious. How are you two enjoying the actual video game? Have you two beaten it? 100%ed it? S-ranked everything? D-ranked everything? What's your favorite part? Etc.
I don't think I've got all of Gerald's journal yet, to be honest.
Well, I haven't even played the Shadow Generations part yet.
I played through the main story, and I did some of the challenges, and then I got busy with everything else. I had a chance to go back to it yet.
About halfway through Sonic Generations, replaying that side of the game first. But I have not played Shadow Generations, so... Oh well, I've been spoiled on it all. It's fine. Not a big deal. Good thing I don't care. Good thing I don't really care too much about spoilers. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to do this show. All right, Luke A. has a question. Why do Sonic fans keep forcing what should be quote-unquote canon on the rest of the fandom? Even when said canon isn't exactly well-written, as they themselves often criticize it for. Like, do they actually want a canon or not? And why should anyone who disagrees be forced to accept it?
The Sonic fandom is very, very devoted to the franchise, and they are very detail-oriented. So there's a certain degree of satisfaction to be had with having the right answer over what has happened and how character should be, etc., etc. And there are other parts of the fandom that are very protective of their own interpretation of that material, insisting that their interpretation is more valid than what is necessarily the intended interpretation. But that's not really unique to Sonic. That's media consumption in general. So I'm not going to play armchair psychiatrist for the entire Sonic fandom everywhere across all the years. No, absolutely not. But my general advice to everyone is just relax and enjoy. Sonic is cool. We're all here for a reason. So let's not get hung up on the details necessarily. Let's just enjoy what we have.
Sometimes it's fun to put it all in a blender and end up with some kind of weird, delicious smoothie that, may not make actual sense. But hey, we're having fun.
This is coming from someone who has literally spent 20 years, their entire adult life, their entire career, stressing over this stuff.
Yep.
I am telling you, it ain't worth it. Enjoy what we have. And I'm not saying don't be critical of it. I'm not saying it's immune to analysis. I'm just saying there are other more important things in life.
Your OC can be whatever you want them to be. They don't need to be as close to canon as possible. Just do a thing. Just create. Have fun. Play in that universe. That's all you really need to do, as long as you're having a good time. Question from Many Hats. Since the stage titles exist diegetically in Shadow Generations cutscenes, is the city Sonic was in actually called City Escape? Is there really a place called Radical Highway?
It's a gameplay element. You don't need to justify everything.
But it's funny.
And I say this because you see it in the background during actual story cutscenes. I know.
But it's
Don't
funny.
worry about it. Just enjoy what we have.
Just don't think about it. Don't look at that. Don't pay any attention to that. Accident on Radical Highway southbound. Oh boy. Just remember the MST3K mantra. Come on. Mephiles has a question. No, not that Mephiles, I assume. I hope. Shove that guy out the door. He's not coming back. Does Mephiles have Black Arms DNA in him?
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, he gained a physical form from Shadow's shadow. Is there any kind of genetic transference through that? I don't know.
Yeah. I have no idea. Moreless has a question. Uh-oh. Sonic and Eggman have been captured by a new big bad, and this time it's up to Tangle and Sage to save the day. How well did they work together? How's it go? And what do they think of each other by the end?
I think Tangle's energetic nature would be trying to Sage, but she would find parallels with Sonic and try to understand and accept Tangle in that regard. And Tangle is not really one to be told what to do by little floating, nagging egg baby. But, she did warn her about that fire pit and the spike trap and the incoming boss missile, so she ain't all bad.
Nah.
Also, she glows on the inside, and that's really neat.
That's really cool. Yeah. Little glowy child.
Also, she likes her hair and wants to style her hair that way. Can you tell me how to do that? Oh, wait, it was programmed, wasn't it? Never mind.
All right, Mr. West Soda 123 is here with a question. How would you have canonized Chomps from Sonic Underground into the reboot Archie Sonic lore? Like, would Knuckles just have a dinosaur friend he's never mentioned before, or would he be more primal/pet-esque because he's a dinosaur?
I hate Chomps.
So the answer is you wouldn't.
Not if I didn't have to. Like, give Knuckles a dinosaur companion. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Make it a weird, snarly, bad-tempered, tiny sauropod? What? No! Give him a theropod. Give him a raptor of some kind. Come on. Give him something cool. I'll even take like a tiny Styracosaurus for pity's sake. But some generic lump of lines sauropod? No. And it's named Chomps.
Chomps.
Give it something with an actual mouth with teeth for chopping.
So what you're saying is that you hate dinosaurs. Got it.
No, I love dinosaurs, and that is why I am ticked at this.
I know.
It's not even a proper depiction of a sauropod. Like if he had some kind of like awesome frilled spined diplodocus or something like that, a walking battle tank that's just weaving its way through the jungles of Angel Island. That's pretty cool. Just this behemoth emerges from the jungle and everyone's like, whoa, what is that? And he's like, oh, that's Chomps. He's cool.
That's my buddy.
I'm on board. Sure, I'll deal with that. Got a mile-long tail that works like a bullwhip. Yeah, that's cool. You get down an entire Egg Dragoon with that. But some tiny little, like, preschool sticker green lump of snot? No. Bad.
All right, so I guess Chomps would have to have a really major redesign.
It'd be Chomps and only name. Name only. That's all we bring in. Chomps and dinosaur. That's all the concepts.
That's fine. That's fine. Over. Number one Chomps hater, Ian Flynn. And we got one from Mixer17. Surge discovers something unpleasant for her. Turns out if she sleeps next to Sonic, she has no recurring nightmares and sleeps better than she does without him, and it only works with Sonic. Don't ask how she found out. It was a stupid platonic accident that Tangle won't shut up about. How mad is she and how does she handle it?
Oh, that's big mad. That's 110% mad. That does not go away mad.
Now she wants to kill him even more.
She will enjoy her nightmares now out of spite.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not happy. Not happy. All right, Noni has a question. Well, I suppose I must ask this now before it's too late. And it's about my OTP. What would a relationship between Mother Wisp and Chaos be like?
Well, one is a gigantic living energy being and the other one is pure water. So something like a nuclear reactor?
I mean, yeah. Why not? I don't know if that's good or bad. Is that good?
Well, Mother Wisp seems to generally be a benevolent being and Chaos is usually chill. Unless you do something to its bodies. So, yeah, stable reactor?
Noni is over here shipping Chernobyl. Scandalous. All right, Nicole has a question. In your opinion, did all Robians have the same arm strength as Bunny Rabbit in the Sad AM and original Archie continuities, and we were just never in a good position for it to come up? Or did her roboticization make her a stronger model of robot? Or was she naturally athletic and the roboticizer just enhanced her? Please rationalize this quandary that barely predates Metal Sonic in which he went in an arm wrestling contest against Metal Sonic. How many questions is this in one?
I'm inclined to say that all Robians had some kind of inherent robotic strength.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the one special where the polar bear, what was his name? Rudyard? Why do I remember this? Lifting a big piece of rubble with little effort, but is that because he's a big bear fella or is it because he's a Robian? I'm not 100% sure. And you could also hand wave a lot of Bunny's strength as, she got upgrades off screen at some point because she did upgrade her cybernetics as the series went on.
Yeah, I thought that was something Rotor did a few times at least.
So you could take it a few ways, I guess.
Or maybe she's just like really angry and the anger like makes her strength. Gives her more strength.
Maybe. As for arm wrestling Metal Sonic, I don't think Metal Sonic is known for like his physical lift strength so much. Concussive strength, sure. Speed, absolutely. But I don't think it's, really robotic flexing. So.
Nah, he's got little like dinky arms.
She might win on that one.
Kind of like Sonic. Dinky noodly arms with robot joints.
Makes him more aerodynamic.
Yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Niall Vulcan Horatius 145D has a question. That's a bit of a mouthful. In Sonic issue 252, as Sally remembers her pre-Genesis history, she goes to Nicole for comfort when coping with her trauma instead of Sonic, who she earlier pushed away. Later in the post-Genesis run, Sally and Nicole became strangely a lot closer, with the interactions with Sonic and Sally were more like acquaintances. Other than the restrictions imposed by Sega, why didn't you give a lot more screen time for Sonic and Sally interactions like pre-Genesis? I missed the relationship and dynamic.
Wasn't a conscious decision?
I mean, it was a different, new continuity. Time to explore new, different things with it, I suppose.
I wasn't consciously trying to keep Sonic and Sally apart. That's never been part of the agenda. I can't help how folks read the material. That's just not what I was going for.
Alrighty. And our last question before we take another break is from Normal Person. Now here's a pitch. Neo Diamond Cutters in a Nickelodeon-like sitcom. What goofy shenanigans would the trio get themselves into, and would the audience cheer when Jewel makes an appearance?
Oh, absolutely. Screaming, clapping, stomping, rushing the stage.
I know I would.
Doesn't get any merch, but she's the fan favorite.
Of course.
A Nickelodeon sitcom? I think you could get a lot of mileage out of the formula of Tangle gets harebrained idea, Lanolin tries to run interference on harebrained idea, and Whisper inserts occasional stinging one-liner for comedic effect.
And Whisper does nothing to stop Tangle, right? Maybe even secretly does stuff to either provoke it or make it even worse.
And at the end of each episode, a valuable lesson is learned and everyone makes up and they're friends again.
Yes.
Until next episode.
Exactly.
Also, the crossover with Legends of the Hidden Temple would be amazing.
There you go.
And when they guest star in Guts, they all conquer the aggro crag. Are you kidding me? Look at them go.
Of course. Outstanding. On that note, let's take a break and then come back with more BumbleKast. We are back for the last time this year, and we're starting with this one from Pedanticat. How about a shipping question for old time's sake? I know out of all the types of Sonic questions you get, you'll miss answering these ones the most. Don't cry because it's gone. Smile because it happened. Now, let's say Sonic and Amy finally become a couple. How does everyone react? And more importantly, which characters won or lost money due to betting on if or when they'd become one?
In this goofy scenario of yours, Pedanticat.
Bold of you to assume they aren't already a couple.
I imagine the majority of reactions would be, finally! We all knew it. Why didn't you?
Yeah.
I think Knuckles loses money because he thought they already were a couple.
I was going to say. Like Cream won. Phantomist has a question. Sonic Generations adapted for the pre-boot Archie continuity. What the team up between the gag era and modern freedom fighters be like? What locations from previous arcs would be represented? And what would a proper team up between Robotnik and Eggman be like?
I mean, I guess the starkest difference would be modern Antoine and classic Antoine.
Yeah.
Commentary about the toupee, or, not trying to front so hard. Just be yourself. Broder's
like
impressed that he gets glasses.
Now we can finally see
off the screen for a little bit.
We can finally see. And with Sally just cringe being reminded of her old hair color, whichever one it is.
Make that an Easter egg. Every time you pass by whatever stage she's standing in front of, she goes from the orange and yellow to the pink and black to the shades of brown.
Yeah.
No explanation, no comment on it. It just keeps cycles every time you reload the area.
Just keeps happening.
And what stages would you have? I mean, Robotropolis, I guess.
Yeah. Do we have like Down Under?
The Great Crater area, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
A Knothole Great Forest styled stage. That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah.
Wood Zone Reborn.
Pretty much. Yeah, there's a few options there. Maybe someone can leave their comments down below with more ideas. Question from Rabbit Haver. Early one morning in the Boom universe, Sonic finds on his porch a cradle. Inside he finds a baby. Well, it's a can of peas dressed up like a baby, and it's beeping. Over radio, also nestled within the child, Eggman reveals his most bizarre plot yet. Sonic and Shadow have to team up to raise this can of peas. They must treat it like a child, including all associated care. If they don't, there's enough explosives in that can of peas to take out the whole island. How does it go? P.S. The can of peas is named Penelope.
Sonic and Shadow just kind of look at it, look at each other, look at it again, look at each other. Sonic kind of shrugs and says, man, it's too early in the morning for this kind of thing. And Shadow goes, I'll handle it. Chaos control. Rushes it out to the middle of the ocean, rushes back. Boom! Nobody hurt.
Okay.
Eggman's sitting there remotely monitoring it going, probably should have accounted for that.
I mean, you think...
well, back to the drawing board.
You think...
Sage, these Mad Lib plans aren't working, sweetheart. Let's try something different.
You'd think that what Shadow would do would be chaos control over to Eggman's island and chuck it over there and let it explode.
I'm not giving him the dignity of dialing to Penelope.
Oh, okay. Good. Question from Raka. Sonic Movie 3 spoilers? Barely. It's shown that Shadow has some exposure to TV and movies. Given that the movies openly acknowledge pop references, how would you envision a scene where Shadow and Maria were at a tea party with the Golden Girls?
I think I understand it now. B. Arthur, you're the ultimate life force.
What about Betty White?
What about Betty White? No, I'm sorry, Betty.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I'm just saying, if Betty White was on the Ark, Maria would still be with us.
Probably. Oh, it's true. It's true. All right, Reckons has a question. A while back, I asked if Shadow would dance to save the world. I had the Elite Beat agents in mind. Now, with confirmation that you know who they are, the EBA are fighting a galactic threat. The only way they can win is if Shadow helps. Will he join them? He has to wear the suit.
For the sake of this question, I'm going to say yes. Just let him rock it with the EBA.
He will do it. He would do it.
He's the ultimate life form. He can do the ultimate dance steps.
He can do the ultimate. He's the ultimate dance form. Come on, man. I think he could do it. All right, Rock a Million has a question. I'm impatiently waiting for more focus on Tails in IDW, and I still feel like we haven't gotten much in that regard. He appears a lot, but he's often just there, doing his usual genius stick without contributing much else. I still feel like we don't get enough meaningful interactions with other game characters or a good amount of depth when it comes to Tails. Why is there so little focus on Tails' character and his relationships with characters besides Sonic? IDW team, please give Tails more.
I can't say I agree with all the content that's in there and all the stuff he's done with Amy and everyone else, but again, I can't account for other folks' reading of the material. So I take it as feedback for myself if I ever get to write again, and that's the best I can say.
All right, Scurvy Pirate Hog has a question. We've seen Dr. Eggman team up with different versions of himself throughout history, but what would a team up between modern Eggman, Prime's Mr. Dr. Eggman, and Boom Eggman be like?
See, to me, Mr. Doctor didn't seem all that different from modern Eggman.
Yeah.
Except maybe a little lazier. But that just means you got two foils against Boom Eggman, and he's going to carry the event, whatever it is.
Pretty much. Boom Eggman is the one. You'd think he'd be the least... Well, he is the least intelligent of the three, but he would be the most...
He's the trimmest. Look at that figure.
But he would be the most entertaining.
Gentlemen, I come to you with a plan to finally rid ourselves of that bothersome hedgehog. We're going to get a can of peas, see?
There you go.
Oh, Mr. Doctor's like, what does this have to do with Sonic? And regular Eggman's like, let's hear him, what he has to say.
It's true. Yes.
And then we blew him up. Any notes? Yes, this plan is stupid. What if we name the can Panilla P? I like it. This is why we're working together.
There you go. Oh, yeah, it's all coming together. Question from Shaggy. Back when Sonic Heroes came out, I had no internet access, and the last Sonic game I'd had available to me before Heroes was Sonic 2. So, as someone that had no idea who more than half the characters in Heroes were and knew no other Sonic fans, I wanted to ask, what was it like being an active Sonic fan at that time? With Shadow coming back to life and characters like Metal Sonic and the Chaotix making a sudden comeback being in a 3D Sonic game?
Oh, it was wild, man.
Especially the Chaotix.
Yeah.
Was like, what?
At the time, I remember there was quite the discourse over their redesigns.
Uh-huh.
But just the acknowledgement of their existence to bring them back, not just bring them back, but in a playable form with voices and moves was just astounding. And the debate over whether or not Shadow would have survived at the end of SA2 was already raging. And then here he is again.
Yeah.
But with the angle of maybe an android, oh man, the message boards, endless amounts of discussion, never ending.
Still doesn't end. Some say these arguments continue to this very day.
And believe it or not, at the time, again, let me stress, at the time, SA2 was kind of maligned for being too grim and too serious and too grounded in the real world.
Yep.
What are these tragic stories and real military personnel and dead children? That's not Sonic. We want bright environments and we want more characters. Checkerboards. SA1 gave us 6 characters, but Sonic Adventure only really gave us 3 because 6 characters, but they only had 3 playstyles. We want all the characters with multiple play styles, and we want them all at once. And so here's Heroes, bright, colorful, checker patterned with, what was it, 12? 3, 6, 9, 12 playable characters.
But 3 different
mining the deep lore, bringing back the Chaotix. It's like, here you go, custom made exactly how you wanted it. And the response was, why is the story so shallow? We want something deep and tragic like SA2. So it was an energetic time in the fandom, full of discussion and wonder and speculation. Because if the Chaotix came back, who else could come back, you know? Right.
Yeah, I mean, time truly is a flat circle in a lot of ways. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I remember Heroes being pretty well received at the time overall. I don't think time has been very kind to it amongst the fandom. I'm still kind of a Heroes apologist, but yeah, it definitely has its problems. So I will not deny that, but you know, I still like it. It was a good time for the time, and you know, there was a lot of excitement about stuff like the Chaotix coming back, or you know, Metal Sonic being a big deal. So that was a lot of excitement. I remember. I liked it anyway. Sonic Sword Fighter has a question. Kirk Thornton once voiced legendary Lilo and Stitch villain Dr. Jacques von Hamstervile in the dub of the anime. Because of this, I feel obligated to ask, how would a fight between the Ultimate Life Form and Experiment 626 go down?
Delightfully. Because I don't imagine Shadow would take it seriously at first, because what is this weird little fuzzy Chow looking thing? It's supposed to be some kind of bioweapon, whatever. He'll punt it, and that'll be the end of it, to which Styx says something along the lines, and, hits him with a bus. And as Shadow picks himself out of the grill, he goes, I see. I'll have to take this a little more seriously.
Yes.
And then they basically tear up Honolulu.
Oh, no. Don't tear up Honolulu.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Put it down. Chaos control.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.
And then, of course, there's some outside factor that forces them to call a truce, and Shadow grabs Stitch right before he falls into a volcano or something. It's like, Maria taught me something. It's that Ohana means family, and family doesn't leave family behind.
Oh, no. So wholesome. Oh, boy. What about Super Stitch? Oh, boy.
He's singing his own theme song as he flies around.
It would be so wholesome if it didn't end with the destruction of Honolulu.
They'll rebuild it.
Okay.
I just want Jumba's take on Professor Gerald. What a mad scientist.
Yeah. All right, Spoiler 1001 has a question. Did Commander Tower know that Shadow was being held by gun before SA2? And if he did, why pin everything on Sonic?
I don't know. I would love an opportunity to recontextualize all that.
Maybe he did know, and Sonic was an easy scapegoat. Subject Nivelis has a question. Nivelius? Something like that. With you working more closely with Sega and the stars lined up for Abraham Tower's name, is it possible more former Sonic characters could be brought back from Archie, SatAM, or Fleetway? Also, is there a way I could get you to autograph my Sonic Mega Man Worlds Collide graphic novel?
Abraham Tower was a very unique circumstance.
Yeah.
And he was a Sega character first. The name came second. And the name came from me under contract multiple times over. I don't believe that sets a very strong precedent. As for autographing any old thing, sure, reach out to me. My email's on my website. If you're willing to cover the shipping and handling back and forth, I'll sign nigh upon anything. Just understand that shipping things physically does come with a risk. So maybe insure it. I don't know. I always worry about this sort of thing, because if somebody ships something that they really care about and they really want autographed and it doesn't make it back to them, I'm going to be just heartbroken. So there is that possibility. I would also say, if you're listening to this around the release date, hold off for now, because we're still dealing with something of a postal strike and post-holiday season mailing bloat. So it's not a good time to send anything my way.
Yeah. I mean, shipping is very risky. Superior Pizza has a question. In Shadow Generations, it's revealed that if another Chaos Control user is affected by Time Stop, they can nullify it with their own Chaos Control. Is this specifically a Chaos Energy versus Chaos Energy type deal, or would a Chaos user be able to nullify other versions of Time Stop not related to Chaos Energy or the Emeralds?
I don't know. It is not fully defined. We have not really seen enough interactions to say definitively.
Alrighty. System 509 has a question. It's time for another body swap. This time, it's Amy and her car Breeze. How does Breeze handle being a biped and having to do all the things a biped needs to do to stay alive? And how does Amy handle being a car Sega forgot about 30 years ago?
Sonic is really confused by this car. Just keeps following him around. Nobody's driving it. Is it automated? Tails, is this one of yours? It looks so familiar.
Didn't Breeze talk?
Could Breeze talk?
I can't remember.
I know it had eyes, and did it have a mouth?
I think so.
Well, it's a car, so it may not be built to actually speak. It may just say beep.
Breeze has a mouth, yeah.
So maybe Amy is trying to communicate, but all she can say is beep.
Honk.
And it's really frustrating. And then, physical Amy walks up, and Sonic's like, Amy, can you explain what's going on with your car? And Amy very happily says, beep, because that's all Breeze knows how to say. And Sonic goes, okay, now you're just making fun of me.
Now they're both beeping. Oh, boy. All right. Switchel has a question. How would you rate a story where Cream is both the main villain and final boss? No mind control, clones, etc. Just Cream. How would you somehow keep the story to the status quo of the series?
Play it straight throughout until she's finally defeated, and then it's revealed that it was all one gigantic role-play LARP that she wanted to do, and everyone was committed to the bit. Basically, Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Okay, I would do that. That would be funny. It's make-believe. She made it up.
Exactly.
Good. Would be a fun game, though. Here's one from Tentavision. If Shadow was a Venom-style symbiote bound to Sonic and they had to work together permanently, how would it go? Shadow can't leave because he needs Sonic to survive, and no, he can't just choose to die, even if that would be extremely funny. Although it could be another character.
In this case, is the entity known as Shadow the symbiote itself? Like, Eddie is Eddie, and Venom is Eddie with the symbiote.
Yeah.
No, because the Venom symbiote could jump to others, and he was Venom.
Still Venom, well. Yeah.
He hadn't gained that persona when he was with Peter, but that was also very early on. But others have inherited and had been Venom. So, okay, so it would be Shadow.
Yeah. So it's just Sonic and Shadow in the same head space.
Yeah.
Great.
We are Shadow. This guy doesn't speak for me. I'm your mouth now. I mean, I guess Sonic would handle it just as well as he handled the Werehog transformation.
Yeah, I guess.
Handle the situation as well as he does hanging out with Shadow, and vice versa.
Oh boy, gives a new meaning to the term Sonato. Question from Tick Tick. In the Tokyo stage in Shadow Generations, Shadow says Tokyo, quote, looks like how Maria described Earth. The statement seems strange, considering Shadow has seen the Earth for more than 6 months. Does this mean that 50 years ago Sonic Earth looked like 2024 real Earth?
We actually touched on this with KB's question earlier in the show, so roll it on back to that answer.
Alrighty. Twilord has a question. In Shadow Generations, Black Doom calls him by his full name for the first time. To my knowledge, the only other time he has so much called Shadow a Hedgehog was in Last Story, so this can be read as earned respect. Sonic's quote-off with Shadow also avoids attacking Shadow's right to his identity as a hedgehog. Good man, Sonic. But Metal Overlord does use the phrase fake hedgehog to describe Shadow. We know from the Egg memos that Eggman respects identities, so is it possible that Metal Sonic always has a voice box but just never says anything that doesn't trigger all the censorship software? If so, how would Sonic, Amy, Surge, Vanilla, Scrapnik, Sonic, and Starline react to learning Metal Sonic was literally just too bad a person to ever bypass censorship?
I really hope you did stretches before going through those mental gymnastics.
Well, you know, it's a bit of a stretch.
This is like one of those word problems I would always fail in math. If A equals B and B equals C and C equals D, therefore solve for Z.
What is
what?
What does J equal? Where did J come from?
And you know, Sonic's world is one of acceptance, generally speaking. So I guess everyone would be a little disappointed in Metal Sonic. Goodness. You would think the doctor would have programmed you better.
Rude. Question from Vineclad. Are the Sonic characters toilet trained? Bodily functions aren't shown in Sonic media, nor do the characters comment on their bowel movements. I triple-checked the master list and found no answer. The world needs to know, Ian. Did they use toilets?
Thank you, Vineclad, for validating my decision to cut off all Sonic content 2025 and onward. I had my doubts, but you've cemented that decision right here, right now.
I'd say that's enough BumbleKast for today, but we still have 4 questions, so...
Home stretch. We're almost through. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm pretty sure it's not an oncoming train.
I mean, there have been toilets in the series before that have appeared.
Don't entertain this, Kyle. No.
It's there.
No.
Exist.
Next question.
Do they use them? Yes, but not how you think. Here's one from Vix. At what point during the arc raid was Maria shot? It seems to differ based on the retelling, and SA2 barely even shows her being shot, if at all.
Does it really matter?
She's shot on the arc. That's really all that needs to be known.
Yeah, I mean, we don't really know the full scope of the invasion or the timetable. We just know the important part, which is she died.
Yeah.
Tragically.
All right. Zabin Otter has a question. I saw in an archived Archie webpage that Rotor was meant to have an older brother, name unknown, who disappeared and was presumed roboticized when their dad Sherman died. Did you know of this? And if so, would you have introduced him had the pre-Supergenesis wave Archie continued?
This does not sound familiar to me at all.
Yeah, I wonder where this came up.
I mean, old webpage.
Would this may have been even before you were on the book?
Maybe, but I didn't think Archie had much of a Sonic presence online at all, let alone before or even after I got on the book. This sounds more like one of those like Sonogram tidbits that got dropped in and never followed up on, but that would have been in print. So I don't know. I'd be interested to see the actual like Wayback page or whatever of that they're referencing. But knowing me and my habitual use of minutia, yeah, probably didn't actually get any time to actually investigate the rest of Rotor's family. So why not add another one to the mix? Compound the problem.
Yeah, really, that's really it. There's so many freaking there's so much family stuff going on in Archie Sonic. It's kind of dense with that. So
what would he be named? You have Rotor and Skeeter. So what would he be? Brother.
Oh, brother.
Big brother.
Brother. And we got one from Z Broadcast. What is one aspect you love about each of the main freedom fighters? Those being Sally, Bunny, Rotor, Antoine, and Nicole.
It's Sally's perseverance. Like, she's taken on so much, so young, with little to no support. And she puts on a brave face. That's hard to do. And that's the reason why she is kind of the foundation of the team and the leader.
Yep.
That's the reason why everyone is inspired and rallied around her. Bunny, she's badass.
Bunny is just cool. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a cyborg and she's confident and she's fun and she punchy, fly around, lasers at every incarnation of Bunny. Great.
Absolutely.
She sells herself. Antoine is a good comedic foil and also when handled in a certain way, a great way to illustrate the team dynamics, and show kind of the everyman view of the greater world. Because he's supposed to be the son of a soldier. He's supposed to be, right there protecting Sally from this horrible situation. How do you measure up to Sonic the frickin' Hedgehog? When your station, when your identity is eclipsed by this guy, that's a lot to measure up to. And his insecurities can be fun and they can also be poignant. So, love Twan. And Rotor it took me a while to find what it is about Rotor exactly, but it's that he isn't the action hero necessarily, Iron Rotor aside.
Yeah.
He is the calm one. I mean, you go back and you watch some of the early Sat AM stuff, he's really kind of laid back. He's chill. Mm-hmm. Sonic is always dialed up to 11 and Rotor's kind of at a 5, and that's how they vibe. He's just chill about stuff. He always has a solution to the problem. It may take him a minute, but he's not going to be daunted by, we can't do this. No, he's going to figure out a way. Give him time. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, I always love that episode where they're on the spy satellite together. And it's like their dynamic just really works on that one. I like that one a lot.
And Nicole is the inhuman learning humanity trope, which is always great.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen it at least once in every version of Star Trek. And that's her again.
Yeah. Sat AM didn't really get to explore that too much. She kind of got a little spicy in season 2 after Sonic apparently got a hold of her for a little bit. But yeah,
but
it's
right
definitely
there shows that it shows that little bit of growth, and that got expanded upon in other media. So
right, yep. Alrighty,
they're fun. I miss them.
Yeah, me too. And finally, the last question on this episode comes from Alphamon or Yukin. Starline's isekai adventures continue. This time, our favorite platypus finds himself face-planting headfirst into the events of Black Knight, unintentionally summoned by Merlina. How far does he make it?
He does not get along with Caliburn at all. He has to be a little sneaky about taking down the Knights and Arthur. And then Merlina pulls her vile but inevitable betrayal, and that she will freeze this book in time so that it can never progress to its disastrous end. And Starline goes, time out. You're saying your ultimate plan is to keep the kingdom functional and stave off Armageddon. Yes. No falling rocks. Well, no. No bad end for anybody. No. I hear there's an opening for the King Arthur position. I elect myself. You don't elect a king. Well, then how do you get to be king then? And he just rules alongside her in their perpetual kingdom of darkness. And the isekai adventures stop.
Oh my god, he's free. He did it. He's made it to the end. The isekai adventures are over.
As is this episode of the BumbleKast. Funny that.
I know. How strange that is. Oh, what a way to end.
Thank you so much to all our lovely patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members for supporting the show. And don't fret, we will be back next week. The BumbleKast does not stop. We keep rolling.
We're not smart enough to know when to stop. I've said it before, and I'll say it many more times.
So we will see you for more BumbleKast. But until then, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Happy New Year. And we'll see you again on the BumbleKast.
Take care, everybody. And let's give a salute to Dr. Starline.
King Starline, thank you very much.
King Dr. Starline. It's over.
He finally won in the end.
It's over, Ian.
I'm happy for him.
Me too.
Evil, malicious, vile duckman.
It's over. I saw on an archived Archie webpage that Rotor was meant to have an older brother. Older brother.
I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready when you are.
All right. Well, that's good because I'm ready when you are.
Well, I'm ready when you are.
Well, then let's do this already.
All right. I'm ready when you are. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. How you feeling?
Tired.
On this 2-break episode.
Marathon that is kind of an encapsulation of everything we've done on this show.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Oh, well.
We've got the awkward continuity questions. We've got the thinly veiled accusation questions. We have the shipping questions.
We have cosmology questions. They're all here.
Have you had a power level question yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe like a thinly veiled power scaling question. Well, I don't know if it's happened yet or if it's coming up. Let's find out as we return from this break.